We see the goaltending matchup there today, and Freddie Andersen on the Leafs side, and for Carolina, Curtis McElhinney. Big Mac is back. Problem, it's not for Toronto. He's facing the Leafs. And usually when the Leafs play goalies that they used to have, they light them up. Look at Bernier. He found a way to do some good stuff against the Leafs in the past couple of years. Curtis McElhinney comes out there and gets the victory for his team. 5-2 winners over the Leafs for the Carolina Hurricanes. McElhinney 2 goals on 30 shots. He was good. And we'll get to more about Curtis McElhinney in a little bit here. But guys, the first period in this game was horrendous. And you go back to that game against Columbus in their last one. They played a terrible first period there, and they were down 2-0 after the first. In this game, that you give up a franchise record for Carolina. 29 shots in the first period. You don't see that up for some teams in an entire game. You gave that to them in 20 minutes. The Leafs' legs weren't going. The Carolina Hurricanes, the total opposite. They couldn't stop going. Now, ideally, the quality of chances weren't all there for the Carolina Hurricanes. And we can argue about the goaltender interference possibility on that first goal by the Hurricanes. But, I mean, what the heck is goalie interference anymore? So, whatever. It's a good goal. Fine. 1-0. And then Justin Williams scores less than a minute after that. Like, what was it? 20-something odd seconds after that. Williams scores. Makes it 2-0 midway through the first because your team can't play at all. But the Leafs do salvage something out of that rough first period. John Tavares picks off an outlet pass from the, I think it was an outlet pass. I know he picks up in the neutral, about the blue line, and he's clear. There's no one near him. I assume they were trying to break out of the zone. And Tavares intercepts the pass, goes right beeline to Curtis McElhinney, and beats him, cutting the lead in half 2-1. So bottom line, you get outshot 29-11, and you're only down 2-1. I'll take it. But holy smokes, that can't be happening on a consistent basis here. They'll get, 90 shots at this rate almost. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. But guys, now let's go ahead to the second period here. And the Leafs come out. They got their legs working a little bit better. And they outshoot the Hurricanes 12-2. So after getting 29 shots in the first period to the Hurricanes, they get 2 in the second period. The Leafs did play a lot better in that period. They outshot them by 10, obviously. Problem, though, see, this is the funny thing is, you got outshot 29-11, yet you scored a goal. You outshoot them 12-2, you don't score anything. That right there tells you shots on goal are a meaningless stat, right? I mean, it is what it is. And you go to the third period, you're only down 2-1. This team has shown many times that they can come back and win games. They showed it in their last one against Columbus, but you don't want to have to continuously weigh on that night in, night out. Now, guys, coming into the game, in that Columbus game, there were no penalties at all for either team. And through the first 2 periods of this game, the Leafs had not taken a penalty. 5 straight periods, not a single penalty. If they went the entire game without a penalty, if I'm not mistaken, that would be the first time since 1945. If I'm not mistaken, that the Leafs had ever done that. 2 games in a row, no penalties. It's in 1945? That's a crazy number. Problem, though, Andreas Johnsson takes a penalty in the third period. The Leafs kind of forgot how to play on the penalty kill, since you haven't played on there in basically 2 games. And you give up a power play goal. Michael Ferland with his 11th goal of the year on the power play. They get their 2-goal lead back. And that's a ball breaker right there for the Leafs. I mean, you think right there after they score that goal, it's just about 8 minutes into the third period. So you have about 12 minutes to go to score 2 goals. And you haven't scored in a period and a half. It's going to be tough to get 2 goals in a matter of half a period, really. However, wow, what was that? However, there we go. With about just over 8 minutes to play in the third period, Kasperi Kapanen decides to put one in the net. Dermott gets the assist on the play, and it's a 1-goal game again with about 8 minutes to go. Anything can happen. But guys, let me rewind things to last year for all of you. Curtis McElhinney in net for the Leafs, countless occasions, tight games late. Look at that, remember that 1-0 game against the Edmonton Oilers? Remember that Pittsburgh Penguins game, game 81? Tight games late, and Curtis McElhinney did the job for the Leafs. Flash forward to today. The Leafs are down 3-2 with 8 minutes to go. Curtis McElhinney shuts the door on many occasions. There was not any spectacular saves, but he made the saves when he needed to. And that's what makes him such a good goaltender. And then they put in a couple empty netters, Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svestikov. They score the empty netters to make it a 5-2 game, and Leafs lose. And the Leafs get outshot 14-9 in the third period, yet they needed the goals. So, guys, you know what? You got to start on time. We've heard the stat. If I'm not mistaken, the Leafs have not lost this year when they score first. They haven't done that in their last 2 games. They got lucky and came back against Columbus. You didn't get lucky here today. Now, guys, the past years, though, with the Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes, I don't know why. At least, I don't know if it's statistically proven or if it's just in my mind the way it is. The Leafs always have a tough time playing Carolina. No matter what team they throw on the ice, they're always a weird, pesky, pain in the rear end type of team. It reminded me of Buffalo back in the day. The Rays for the Blue Jays. Teams you just have a weird time. You can just never beat them. No matter what team they throw on the field or the ice. So, you know what? All win streaks, guys, come to an end. They all do. You can win 20 in a row. You're bound to lose one at some point. You're not going to go 82-0. The Leafs won 4 straight coming into the game. Could they make it 5 straight? No. They ran into, of course, a former goaltender in Curtis McElhinney, and he gets the victory. The Leafs get the loss. They're 15-7 on the year. No start to panic or anything, guys. I mean, Mike, they won 4 in a row and you lose 1. Nothing to panic about there. But as we've talked about on many occasions, winning streaks are nice, and like I said, they do end. But to show how good of a team you really are, how do you get out of that loss, right? Do you come out of that game, you take on Columbus again on Friday night, so a very good team on Friday in Columbus, the first night of a back-to-back. If the Leafs come out there and get the victory, they've put this Carolina game behind them, moved on from it. I don't know what the status is on Austin Matthews towards the rest of the week. I'm not sure what the heck the deal is when it comes to that, but all we know is he's coming back fairly soon. And guys, last thing, Curtis McElhinney, great job. Well-deserved victory. You guys know my feelings towards him if you've watched all these videos. You'll know my feelings in the preseason preview. You'll know my feelings when they lost him to waivers. You'll know my feelings if you listen to the podcast about Garrett Sparks and Curtis McElhinney, my thoughts towards those guys. Curtis, great job, buddy. Great game today. He deserved the win, and he got it. Tells the Leafs management, you should have kept me. And I'm like, we all know this. Because we're not sure about Garrett Sparks right now. We all have that feeling where, like, he has a good game in the last one, but he could come out again this weekend against Philly, probably, and get lit up, and we don't know what we're going to see. So, but reality is, the Leafs lose, and you got to find a way to move on from it. Tough game, tough loss. Tight one late in the game. You can't bury one. They score a couple empty netters. So the way it goes, guys, it's sports. You're never going to be perfect. It's a tough one. All right, like I said, guys, the next time we see the Leafs is in Columbus, taking on the Blue Jackets, 7 p.m. puck drop on Friday night. All right, so, guys, that is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys didn't really enjoy the first period of this game and really the end result of the game. Smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the video? Also, your thoughts on Curtis McElhinney, the Big Mac. I mean, we got to see him again today. Good for him to get a victory, but not good for the Leafs as they lose 5-2 to the Hurricanes. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game, this video, everything about the Leafs. And Evan and I will talk to you guys tomorrow afternoon. Podcast edition. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Raptors edition quite shortly game's over. Raptors get the victory in Atlanta as we all thought they would, but they do come away with that victory in Atlanta, guys. 124-108. And as for the Buds, guys, they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets, as we've been saying, on Friday night, 7 o'clock puck drop in Ohio, as the Buds look to get back in the win column after this tough loss today and get back on another streak and get back to winning games. That's what we want to see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys then.